group of young women in their 20s who had achieved rising star status in the business world. The New York Women's Agenda organization also honored women in their 80s and 90s who had not been able to become stars in their fields simply because of when they were born. Many of the older women were in tears, speaking about the pride in the young women's achievements, but also of the envy and loss they felt listening to the opportunities being made by and for the younger women today. Opportunities they had not been offered simply by virtue of their birth date and their gender. And these are only small examples of the variable of time. Every other variable is just as powerful. An African-American baby and a Korean-American baby and a baby of an undocumented immigrant mother from Mexico, all born on the same day in the same hospital in Kansas City, will each be strengthened or assaulted by very different outside economic, political and cultural forces, all of which will intersect in complex ways. Understanding their interplay is what is now referred to as intersectionality. As the name suggests, we're constructed not just by our races, classes, sexualities, genders, or psychologies, but also by their intersections, including how they interact within the institutions in which we're embedded. Whether in the family, in a hospital, in the military, in a prison, in a school, or in a nursing home. In fact, we believe strongly in holding a balanced, comprehensive biopsychosocial view of assessment and treatment, valuing each of the components equally. We hope in this book to challenge some of the false dichotomies and try instead to teach the subtle and ever-changing intersecting of all the factors, the relative weight of which can change from moment to moment. What is psychodynamic theory? Since this book is written to focus predominantly on the psychodynamic part of the biopsychosocial matrix, we need to explain what we mean by the word psychodynamic. Webster's Third New International Dictionary, 1963, page 711, defines dynamic as pertaining to energy or power in motion, the motive and controlling forces, physical and moral, of any kind, also the study of such forces, and characterized by continuous change tending to produce change. Psychodynamic is defined by Webster's, page 1833, as relating to the science of dealing with the laws of mental action, and motivational forces, especially unconscious motives, and relating to or concerned with mental or emotional forces or processes developing especially in early childhood, and their effects on behavior and mental states. The many theories that fall under the term psychodynamic then have to do with inner energies that motivate, dominate, shape, and control people's behavior. These are based on constitutional factors, past experiences, and present realities. We use the term psychodynamic because it is broad enough to encompass any theory that deals with psychological forces that are out of conscious awareness and underlie most human behavior. But psychodynamic theories are often about self and identity, and neither self nor identity has any meaning without an understanding of the social contexts in which both develop. We also wish to distinguish psychodynamic theory from psychoanalytic theory, although this is by no means easy to do. The two terms are often mistaken for one another. Some clinicians use them interchangeably, others insist they are vastly different. There is disagreement even among psychoanalysts as to what the term psychoanalysis encompasses, some reserving the term for the Freudian theory of unconscious conflicts about drives and desires, others including all theories that deal with anything in the unconscious. There continues to be in psychoanalysis a sharp debate about its nature, purposes and goals. Some, as Freud did, describe it as a branch of natural science, and others, such as Lacan, as a form of hermeneutics, of deep interpretation, in which personal narrative, not objective data, is the subject of interest. We see it as both, as a form of evidence-based work and as a way of understanding the self and others through narrative and interpretation. Richard Chesick, 1993, in a dictionary for psychotherapists, says the following about psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is in some ways very simple to define and in other ways very difficult. All psychoanalytic models have the same conceptual base, the dynamic unconscious, although they may differ in certain fundamental ways. All deal with transference and countertransference and use the method of free association. All view infantile and childhood experiences as crucial and stress pre-Oedipal and Oedipal factors to one degree or another. All in various ways and to varying degrees emphasize repetition, the role of the analyst, and the importance of interpretation. Page 306. Many of the theories